I'm here with Steve, 2-2 against Burnley today. We didn't see that coming, did we, Steve?
First minute kind of set the tone, didn't it?
I missed it. I was in the queue.
It's just silly fouls. Set pieces, like, I can see everyone kicking off.
Conceded from a lot of set pieces recently.
And all the rest of it, and this, that and the other. But when you don't score, when you can't keep your shit together at a set piece, that's happened how many times this month, for starters? Let's talk about... You can say sign this guy, you can say sign that guy, you can say get this guy in, but let's talk about the actual football. The actual football, it wasn't good enough. There was some basic bullshit from a set piece. I was trying to figure out how the second goal came about as well, because I know there was a free kick, obviously, but what led to that free kick, can you remember?
I think Ashley Young was out of position, and then Matic covered for him and brought a foul. I think, there was a lot of free kicks, and I'm a bit confused, and you don't always remember the decision for the goal and what decision was what, so I don't want to cane him.
But I don't know if that was the one that led to the goal. Ultimately, what we're doing from set pieces, now, the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results in it. Now, we're going into defending set pieces, doing the same thing every single time, conceding goals, and I'm seeing people saying the nastiest angry shit about Lukaku. We did not sign Lukaku for his defensive at corners abilities, did we? We didn't sign him for that. Where's the leadership in the team, and where's the organisation in the team? I thought this was Jose Mourinho, mate. I thought that was the bare minimum you expect him, his meticulous preparation. Is no one in his analysis department going, oh, we just conceded like 4 or 5 goals from the same sort of thing, whether it was a corner or a free kick, it's an in-swinging ball coming from a dead ball in it, and we're conceding time after time in those situations. And I'm saying put someone on the post, right? Which is the most simplistic answer to what's going on there. Because if someone's on the post, they literally just stand there and go, oh, fuck off, get rid of that. For 80% of those that we've recently conceded. Now, the ones that go down the middle a little bit, maybe you wouldn't have got to them. But it's just a basic thing, innit? You see it under 7s, you see it under 9s. Why aren't we seeing it at Old Trafford with Manchester United? That's one thing.
Your wingers go on the post.
Just about the football, mate. Yeah, just about. Why is there no one on the post? It's a basic thing.
Do you feel I feel like it sounds me stupid saying it. I feel like the title's gone. Everyone kind of feels like the title's gone. And do you think that's kind of seeped through to the players, because the players are playing like there's nothing to play for?
It had to, didn't it? And I want to address something, because all I've seen is people hitting me up saying, oh, you said don't be negative. I didn't say don't be negative. I said don't be overly negative for no reason. People was just like cussing out players, and they go overboard. No one does it constructively.
Criticism's fair,
no
but
one says
abuses.
This thing that this guy did was wrong, or this could have been better. They go, he's he needs to never play for us again. That is rarely the actual case, is it? With all of those players that are playing there, they've all got something about them which means that they're Manchester United players.
Even Ashley Young?
But yeah, even Ashley Young. But collectively, they're not showing it. And collectively, something is broken. I've seen that last 20 minutes played out over the last 5 years at Manchester United, time and time again. That was so reminiscent of the Fulham game where we had 81 crosses. That's what it felt like all the time. Every time we get a corner and the crowd's clapping, I'm like,
you're not the only one to say that today. Someone else said that to me, stood next to me in the straight. That feels like that Fulham game.
But every time we get a corner, can't get excited, mate. Because when was the last time we put a corner in?
And Beckham was here?
Yeah, I think it was when Scholes
99.
On Boxing Day a few years ago was the last time we put a decent corner in. Yeah. We've got no threat at corners, which is mad considering the height that we've got. We scored from a lot of set pieces earlier in the season, but how many did we have today that was just absolutely wasted? So if we're talking about analysing just what's going on the football pitch, we're crap at defending set pieces and we're crap at attacking set pieces at the moment. And it's more than that as well, because even though we were flooding forward, I mean, we basically played one at the back in the second half, and we went for it. And I know all the passion merchants.
You're surprised to see that Rojo coming off, Zlatan coming off for
not that it was Rojo, but yeah, I was surprised that we took a defender off and put Matic at the back. But I think in doing that, I think what we do is we clip our own wings, because Paul Pogba is the best footballer at this football club. And today he was almost centre-half a lot of times, especially in the second half. And you limit his ability to only launch those Scholesy-esque balls forward. He's more than that. He's got so much more than that in the final third that we don't get to see. Like his shooting ability, like, I don't think we're going to see him score a goal.
1 or 2 good shots today. One of them I thought was in.
Yeah, but we're not going to see him on the ball when he's in that quarterback role further back, you know what I mean? And he's just pumping balls forward. And we're often pumping the ball up to Juan Mata. Where is someone saying, the f*** are we my
mum would beat him for it.
So Juan Mata, yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I can be sat down on a stool with one leg up behind my ass and still win an header against Juan Mata. It's, from a pure footballing point of view, there was things that was not quite clicking there today. And you'll never see me saying, sack the manager, this, that and the other. He's got to take responsibility for some of this. We've got to have 4 games on the bounce or some shit like that now without a win. At some point, he needs to change something. start changing something. We changed something at half-time. Give him credit for that. It didn't pay off. I mean, I'm sure we would all
Nearly did.
It nearly did. We'd have all been on the pitch if Jesse Lingard scored a hat-trick at the end there, but wasn't to be, was it? We conceded 2 clinical finishes, really.
So what do we do with the rest of the season then? Because Premier League's gone, but we've still got Chelsea.
Well,
Chelsea won today, Liverpool, etc. are going to try.
Arsenal's trophy, don't we? We've got to finish inside the top 4. We got.
But is 3rd, 4th good enough?
No, it isn't good enough. But you're not going to. City are playing on cheat mode at the moment, right? Forget about what they're doing. What can we do, right? If we're not going to win the league this year, and it's mathematically possible, but no one is going to put money on it, right? If we're not going to win the league this year, then we just start building for next year. I was saying to my old man on the way in, and I think I might have mentioned it in our preview before. 20 years ago, we won the treble and City won the 3rd division. City fans couldn't even imagine beating us in a derby at that time. But they've come that way in 20 years. 10 years ago, they lost 8-1 to Middlesbrough. And like 4 years after that, they was winning their first title in how many years? We're second to this best team ever, supposedly. People are saying second, right? You know what happens when teams hit a peak. It's hard to keep every single player in that team motivated. If they win the league this year, I don't think they'll win the Champions League, but they might, because they're a good side. If they win the league this year, and it looks like they're very much going to, we all know that retaining the league is the hardest thing to do. They've never done it. Chelsea have done it under that guy that's in charge of us now, and United have done it several times. I don't think we can do it this year, but I think we can start consolidating for next year, start making the right signings, make some movements now in January. If there's people here that the manager thinks, you're not in my plans, well, f*** them off then. Because you're keeping them around, not doing their career.
Time to get ruthless.
And I think he has been ruthless. If you look how much fuss there was when he dropped Wayne Rooney for the derby last season, and there was a lot of media attention. There was literally reporters standing there with photographers and that opposite the dugout, waiting to just take pictures of Wayne Rooney because he was on the dugout. Massive amount of attention for dropping Wayne Rooney. Then he ghosted him out of the team and then he got rid of him. He needs to be that ruthless with the other players that he doesn't see as fit. Whether you see him as fit or I see him as fit, he needs to have the plan in his head. Because at some point, I don't know that United have a plan all the time. It feels like even Mourinho's appointment was a chance thing. It doesn't feel like that was a planned appointment. So we need to be if there's a plan, we need to stick to a plan. And he needs to start now for next year. Because City have been years in the making for where they are now. You can't look at Mourinho and Guardiola and say they took over the teams at the same time, so well they should be doing the same. It don't work like that. He's signed nearly 10 players more than Jose Mourinho has been signed. That club's been aware that he's been coming since like 2012. You know, Baristian and all them lot, the directors of football that they've had, was signed from his Barcelona days, literally to create him. So if you're getting on Mourinho's back for what he can't do, like people saying, no, we need to spend what City are spending. City are playing cheat mode, mate. They're literally being backed more than any other team in the history of football.
But we should be beating Burnley.
We should be beating Burnley. But it's a bigger picture thing, right? Drawing at home to Burnley sucks. Drawing away last-minute equaliser to Leicester sucks. But ultimately, we're about bigger than individual games and 1 point here and 3 points there, aren't we? We're talking big pictures. If the league's gone, why is everyone asked about drawing today? Who gives a shit? The only thing we need to do is make sure we finish inside the top 4, prepare ourselves for the Champions League, and have a good go at that, because that's realistically the only way we can have a good season this year. And if we don't, if we win nothing, then we have a season. But guess what? I don't give a f***. You're here next year, aren't you? I'm here next year. Them lot will be here next year. So who gives a f*** them blue cunts?
Cheers.